You've never heard a story quite like this before. This is a tale that resonates through the ages, weaving together themes of defiance, redemption, and the mysterious depths of the sea. At the heart of this extraordinary narrative is Jonah, a prophet with a mission unlike any other, a mission that would not only test his faith, but reshape it entirely. In the bustling heart of ancient Israel, amidst the whispering winds and the vibrant calls of desert markets, Jonah received a call that would change everything. A divine call from God, more powerful than any he had heard before. "Go to Nineveh, that great city," commanded the Lord, his voice echoing with authority and urgency. "Their wickedness has come up before me." This was not a request. It was a command, charged with divine purpose and destiny. Faced with this monumental choice, Jonah found himself in a whirlwind of emotion and fear. Nineveh was not just any city. It was a name spoken with dread and disdain. Notorious for its brutal ways and fearsome inhabitants, Nineveh was a place Jonah had never wished to see. The very thought of confronting its wickedness and pronouncing judgment upon it filled him with despair. Overwhelmed by doubt, Jonah decided to flee. He would run, not just from Nineveh, but as he mistakenly believed, he would run from the reach of the Almighty himself. Jonah made his way to Joppa, an ancient port city teetering on the edge of the sea, and boarded a ship bound for the distant land of Tarshish. With each sail unfurled, Jonah felt he was leaving behind his divine obligation, seeking solace in the false security that distance from God's presence might provide. Perhaps, he thought, in fleeing so far, he could find peace in anonymity. But if Jonah believed he could escape, he was sorely mistaken. For as his ship ventured into the deep blue, a violent tempest descended upon them, a storm of unimaginable chaos and power, a fury unleashed by Jonah's misguided flight. The winds howled with a ferocity that promised to tear the very sails from their masts, and the waves rose like mountains in revolt. The sailors, seasoned men who had braved many a storm, were terrified. Each one clung to his faith, praying desperately to his deity for deliverance. But amidst the pandemonium, Jonah lay in a deep, almost unnatural slumber in the belly of the ship, oblivious to the peril above. When they could take no more, the sailors cast lots, an ancient way to divine answers in moments of desperation. And the lot fell upon Jonah. "Who are you?" they cried, voices barely audible over the storm's angry roar. They demanded answers, seeking a reason for this calamity. Jonah, now fully aware of his role in their plight, confessed. "I am a Hebrew," he admitted. "I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." The revelation hung heavy in the air, provoking their fear-filled cries, "What have you done?" For they knew then that he fled from the presence of God. Jonah, accepting his fate, offered himself as the storm's sacrifice. "Throw me into the sea," he implored, "and it will become calm for you." Their hearts were heavy. The thought of casting a man to his death was not one they took lightly. But as the waves grew ever more threatening, battering their vessel, they saw no other choice. With reluctance and sorrow, they cast Jonah into the raging depths. Instantly, as if by divine command, the sea calmed, returning to a serene tranquility. But for Jonah, the story was far from over. As he sank beneath the waves, expecting death's cold embrace, God, in his unfathomable mercy, sent a great fish, not to consume him in finality, but to swallow him whole. For 3 days and 3 nights, a symbolic echo of rebirth throughout time, Jonah dwelled in the belly of this beast. In complete solitude, surrounded by the dark silence of the ocean's depths, Jonah was left to contemplate his fate, his choices, and the God he served. In that darkness, a prayer sprung from his lips, born of desperation and newfound clarity. "Out of the depths, I call to you, O Lord." Moved by his plea, God commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Covered in seaweed and drenched in humility, Jonah was given another chance, a chance not taken lightly. This time, Jonah obeyed the divine call with a renewed sense of purpose, making his arduous journey to the infamous city of Nineveh. Upon his arrival, his voice, now strong and resolute, declared, "40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown." The words of a prophet are not easily dismissed, and they resonated through the streets and alleys, reaching even the ears of the mighty king. The people of Nineveh believed Jonah's warning, and in a remarkable turn of events, they proclaimed a city-wide fast. From the mightiest king to the humblest peasant, all donned sackcloth, an ancient symbol of penitence and grief in a profound act of humility and submission. God, seeing their genuine repentance and humility, turned from his wrath, sparing the great city from destruction. But Jonah, still grappling with his understanding of divine justice, was displeased. He sat outside the city, awaiting its fate, hoping perhaps for a spectacle of divine retribution. Yet God, in his wisdom, used this moment to impart another lesson to Jonah, and through him, to us all. A plant grew, providing Jonah with shade and comfort. But the next day, it was struck down by a worm, and the scorching sun beat upon Jonah mercilessly, invoking within him an existential reflection on the fairness of life and the nature of God's mercies. "You are concerned about the plant," God reminded him, "a plant that came into being overnight and perished just as quickly. Should I not have compassion for Nineveh, a city with over 120,000 people who do not know their right hand from their left?" Thus, Jonah's story unfolds as an eternal testament not only of God's patience, love, and immense power of redemption, but a poignant reminder of the mercy and forgiveness that permeate the divine narrative. It resonates through history as a call to understand and embrace divine compassion, asking us all to reflect on our place in God's vast and forgiving world.